because we played that false back three and we had Paul Pogba there, right? When Paul Pogba gets injured, Matic can't form that false back three because McTominay and Fred are not in that pivot in a single pivot. They can't function there. So that means that Matic has to play as a 2 in front of the back three. I mean, in front of the back 2, sorry. So what that does is that cuts out your passing lines, because if you form a false back 3, you outnumber the attackers that are trying to press you. Do you see what I mean? So if you go 2v2, you'd have the attacking midfielder and the striker going for the 2 centre backs, and you won't have a third centre back to make do with that situation. So it forces your fullbacks to push back and come deeper for the ball.
Rachel, Rachel's a tactical analysis, you know. Do you want to work for Man United?
Sorry?
You want to work for Man United?
I feel like I should.
No.
I pressed the live button when you were talking. So I think you should get credit for your analysis. So
definitely,
everyone that's in the cut right now heard that. Listen, yes, what? It's your boy Bits and Balls. Yes, people, it is Wednesday night in the evening, 8 p.m. That United podcast. I'm joined by my co-host, the Devils. Well, our avocado, Rachel in the building. And we've got a man like Mr. Ivorian Spice in the cut, aka Red United TV. Family, how are you? You all right?
Feeling blessed, feeling good. You know, I'm ready for it.
Second show.
Our second show, episode 2.
But where's our DRF? Where's our DRF? That's the question.
Listen. Okay, let's go into it. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's go into it. West Ham game. Beaks is on his way. He's working, so it's cool. The show must go on. That's all I'm going to say to you. The show must go on. Right, so obviously it's been a few days since the West Ham game. Okay. It was a massive snooze fest. It was an own goal. Spice, man. Clean sheet. I mean, I'm trying to...
That's the positive, right? That is the positive.
To Bocce in the cut. Listen, guys, Football Capital, all the way from Australia watching. Big up to you, Bocce. If y'all watching him
as well,
like and subscribe to him. Good guy. I'm trying to get him on actually, but we're trying to work out time differences and stuff. But yeah, Spice, man, look, we beat West Ham, and man, take over, because real talk, man, I struggle to find the positives, man. Besides,
all right, guys, the only positive in that game is the fact that we got the 3 points. Yeah, we got the win, despite the fact that we didn't score a goal. And despite the fact that we played against West Ham, who has been in good performance, and have been
best team in London.
One of the I want to say the best team, but one of the best teams in London. So far, not you Arsenal, but yeah.
Not you Arsenal.
Yeah, but apart from that, West Ham been doing so well lately. So I'm glad that we got the win and got the result. It's very naive of the way that David Moyes set it up against Manchester United to play defensively and just hold back until the second half, until the 70th minute, until he put on his attacking players to do something. Whereas for us, it was a shit game for a viewer to watch. I don't know how many times you guys snoozed, because I snoozed a couple of times. I had to pinch myself until we got to the 9 minutes. I was like, bro, I really have to do a match report for this, a match reaction for this.
It was tough. I don't know what along, and it was so tough. I was like, wow. Like, I ended up having conversation with the guys on it. I was like, so how's your week been? Do you know what I mean? How's your weekend? And like, real talk. But we did. There you go. Okay, we've got a comment. I respectfully disagree that was as boring as people claim it. If we had our shooting boots on, we would have scored better. They literally sat back, and we created good chances. Rachel, what do you say to that?
You go on.
I agree. We had a couple of good moments in the first half, to be fair, and it's difficult. No, we didn't take them, but we had moments to score. Like Rashford should have scored. Like, I don't know how he missed that header. It was.
Oh my God! So right, Rachel. Let's. You know what, Rachel? Rachel is our analytic co-host. Now, Rachel, physically, he looked like he did not want to header that ball.
He's not great at headering the ball, Marcus Rashford.
He's not great. He ain't. He don't.
Yeah.
I know he's probably scored a couple maybe in his career, but that header, if that's a Giroud or a Kane, or an elite striker, that's a goal, right?
Yeah, no, it is definitely a goal.
So why do you think he missed that chance?
He's not a striker.
No, but let's break it down though. I know what you say, he's not a striker because centre backs win headers, score headers, midfielders score headers.
He doesn't look comfortable when he headers the ball, though. That's not the only time he's done that. He doesn't look comfortable when he tries to head the ball, and he doesn't do it often.
What do you think?
To be fair, as Rachel was saying, avocado. Let me get that right.
Well, call me whatever. It's fine.
Yes, Rachel was saying, Rashford himself, he is not comfortable with heading the ball. Each time Rashford goes to head the ball, he closes his eyes. He plays peekaboo with the ball, especially when it's in the air. So, and it's a fact that we as well don't really cross the ball in for the strikers or the forwards, should I say, to practice those headers. Yeah. So with Rashford, it's just a thing where he's scared. I understand. I remember when I used to play football. Yeah, I was scared to head the ball. I wasn't down to head the ball because I just thought that someone else would just knock me down. And I think that's the same thing that goes through Rashford's mind and head. Like, if I go for it, would this defender knock me out and all that, and etc. Would I get a head injury? Because at the end of the day, he closes his eyes when he heads the ball. That says a lot.
But the thing is, you're all right. Okay, you want to say hello?
Wagwan, big man.
Say
do-rag and that.
Say
hello.
That look right here.
I know. All right, Daddy, go back to working.
Yeah.
Okay. See you night. Okay. That's Bits and Bob's Jr.
Done now.
No, but like, see, for me, it actually annoyed me that he missed that. It really annoyed me he missed that because I'm thinking, no one was around you. It was a free header. You literally just jumped and ducked, and I thought to myself, like, that's why you don't play up front. Like, that's why you're not centre forward. Like,
but he isn't, is he?
It's like, see, when you were younger and someone hit you, and, like a first coach, I used to say to them, I'm not ticklish. Do you know what I mean? And I get up because I'm like, you're not going to hurt me. I'm not ticklish. So I don't know what you're wasting time trying to hurt me. And I think to myself, you're in the air as a header. Like, just go and meet that ball. Real talk. But it's fine. I mean, we moved. The next part of the game, obviously, we had some joy. The set piece, it was a goal. I actually thought Scott McTominay headed the ball. But obviously, they broke it down and it was an own goal. And
but a Bruno assist?
Yeah, a Bruno assist. Yeah, exactly. For the
Bruno
stat
assist. Yeah.
I mean, what would you think? What was your thoughts on Bruno's performance? Spice, what were you thinking?
Bruno, to be fair, his performance was just average, to be honest with you. It's not like he had a good performance and he done anything spectacular. The one thing about Bruno in that game is that he didn't do any stupid passes giving the ball away. He stuck to the game plan and just tried to work, and he got an assist at the end of the day, Just typical Bruno, don't have to play well, but gets a goal, gets the assist. Performance average.
Yeah, it's average, but I mean the game. I mean, I hear what Harsif Head Ready was saying. I do understand that, they did sit back, but for me, when I say it's boring or it was just a snooze fest, because when teams sit back at us, that's what we do to other teams. So it's like the onus is actually on us.
Now
Rachel, I'm saying that on purpose because I want to, I want you to, come out here. Do you know what I'm saying? So, Rach, what's your thoughts when we talk about teams, low blocks, Man United needed to come out and play? I mean, does Man United do this? Or is it a figment of our imagination? Or what?
What, you mean Man United playing low blocks?
No, Man United playing against low blocks.
Oh, yeah, there is an issue with us playing against low blocks. There are multiple reasons for that. So, the first issue is when you play a 4-2-3-1, one of your pivot has to be creative. It's a known thing with a double pivot. You can't have two players that have no creativity. Otherwise, the only creativity you get is from your 10. So if there's a game where someone's doing a job on Bruno, what you get is no creativity. And that's what happens when, like, for example, against Chelsea, where Bruno was literally man-marked by Kante, there was no creativity on the rest of the pitch because we're playing McFred. You need someone in the deeper areas who can either long pass it, which we know Pogba can do, and Maguire can occasionally do. But then when you look on our right side, Lindelof is not a long passer. McFred are not long passers. So if it's in a situation where teams are trying to press you, or if they're sitting back or whatever, any of those two situations, you need someone who will be able to pass the ball long, so that you can get the ball up the pitch and try and make an attack through that way. Different options, but you don't get that with McFred because they're not good enough on the ball and even off the ball. Our players lack movement. I've said it before with these players; they don't move enough. And when you're playing against low blocks, you need to move so that you can create space for other players to exploit. And our players don't do that enough. That's why we struggle against low blocks.
Rich, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think when we play against teams with low block, do you think it's ideal to have players who are able to switch flanks easily? Because you was mentioning long balls from Maguire and also from Fred and also from Pogba. Because I see a lot of times, especially when teams are trying to be low block, they have players who are capable of switching flanks real easy to open up the space.
Our players can do that as well. The way we play football is fluid. Like no players are allowed to switch positions. We see Bruno go into like the left channel sometimes, and Rashford comes into the middle. He does it on the right side as well. Greenwood will come into the middle. But those kind of movements are like, they're not the movements I'm speaking about. What I'm speaking about is intelligent movements to find space. Switching positions is not overly intelligent movement. What you need are players to run into half spaces. You need players to drag players out of position so other players can run into the space he creates. But our players don't do that. They're very static. How many times have you said it? Whenever we've played, we've always said our players aren't moving.
Yeah.
How many times have you said that?
Many times, yeah.
So if our players aren't moving, then how are you creating space?
So Ken, you have to ask the question, what is going on in training at Carrington? You know, because the patterns of play are there, as you've said, okay. However, is it the players' desire? Are they not wanting to do it? Or do they just can't be bothered? Spice, what do you think?
I think it's a mix of everything, man. After Avocado schooled me just earlier on, if you guys if you guys catched earlier on about the whole team and their positioning and also the pattern of play. Clearly, at times it's either the message is not, from the coaching staff, it's not translated or transferred to them successfully, or the players themselves are just simply not good enough to carry out the instructions of all these plays, all these set plays, all these patterns of plays, and it's quite clear that some of the players are not capable of doing certain things. We have McFred, you've got McTominay who's unable to keep the ball, you've got Fred who's unable to keep the ball, they give the ball away several times. So yeah, exactly. So I just think it's a mixture of everything put together. It can be the coach, and it can also be the players and also the managers as well.
I'm gonna stop you there because it's a great point, great segue. Manager. Now, obviously, we have a group chat. Obviously, we talk. Our manager's potentially, it is written and reported he's getting a new contract. Yeah. Now, my 2 cents in that, right, is that if they had made the appointments, because they've made the appointments with Myrtle and Fletcher, surely, for me anyway, Ollie was next, because you can't create those 2 appointments while he is in position right now. That was never going to happen. He was always going to get a new contract, because I honestly think that this is the new way forward. It might not be the personnel we want in personally. However, this is structure that we've lacked and now we have. So, Rachel, when you saw and read that he was getting a new contract, were you shocked? And does he deserve one?
I was shocked they announced it now. But
that's typical Man United, though, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, I thought they'd do it at the end of the season, but I guess the reason why they did that, I think Indiana told me this actually, that it makes sense because you want to make sure that players who want to come to Manchester United are aware that his job is secure. Because if a player comes in and the manager's job isn't secure, then why are they going to want to come? And obviously, there's a lot of question marks over who would replace him, etc., etc. So I can understand it from that point of view. But yeah, I was shocked that they announced it, to be fair, because yeah, like I said, I thought it was coming at the end of the season. But I also understand the point of job security and making sure players know what they're coming into. Because if he doesn't sign a new contract, say now, or leading up to the transfer window, and then they wait, say maybe next season when he's at the end of his contract, what does that do for the players that are coming in? They're not going to know if he's going to be there. They might not have very good opinions of the manager that's coming in because we don't know who would come in. Like if they say, for example, a player doesn't like the style of Allegri but would rather have the style of Nagelsmann, but Allegri comes in, what happens there? So I think it's good just to have like security on both sides with that one. Makes sense.
Spice, same to you, because obviously I hear you can hear the disappointment in Rachel's voice.
It's not disappointment. I'm sort of over it with all this kind of Ollie in, Ollie out stuff. I just no longer care.
Yeah, look, I mean, listen, we will never ever have that debate here because it's wasted energy, like Indiana says. And for me, it's like when we decided to do this podcast, it's talking about all things Man United. You know, from the analytic, tactician, the gossip, the opinionated and stuff. You know, real content. Because listen, we are just all equal with Man United fans. No one's bigger than the other. However, Ollie in, Ollie out, miss me with it. Do you know what I mean? So Spice, man, new contract. You misses me, bro. You're like, I know.
I messaged you.
Talk about this.
I messaged you because I said I know we was going to talk about it. I'll go straight up with it. From the moment I read the news, it was early in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. I was drinking my coffee. I ended up spitting my coffee out just seeing that message. And then I looked at the date and thought, is it April the 1st? Just in case this is April Fool's. But it's not. It's real, guys, you know? My honest opinion of this is that it's too early. I'm with Avocado for this. It is too early. Why are we not learning from our lessons? You know, we've done this before. This Ole at the wheel got us into trouble. They gave Ole the job and they didn't wait until the end of the season. Yeah. Now, you're reading that, Ole might get a new contract. Why not wait until the season to see where we will be? Because right now, are we guaranteed that we'll finish 2nd, 3rd, or 4th? Right now, no. Are we guaranteed to win the FA Cup? Are we guaranteed to win the Europa League? Let's wait. Let's wait until we make our decision. I understand job security is important, especially for the next project. I knew the fact that as soon as they got the technical director and they got the DOF, those are Ollie's boys, right? Innit? That man, I was like, I'm not surprised it came. It really came to me. It's just the timing that it came, it just wasn't acceptable. Wait until the end of the season, Manchester United. Like, you can't do this all the time to us, you know. My heart hurt. I was hurt, you know. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I accept it, you know. I accept it. He's gonna get a new contract. He's my manager. I'm gonna back him. You know, I got no choice to back him. I don't want to, but I'm gonna back him. You know, till the end.
But do you think, right, guys, like an honest analysis of what he's done so far? You know, I mean, we could talk about he's done a great job out of a bad situation. We could say he signed all these players. We could say he's doing a contract extension. Is he the guy that Man United just want to be at the helm and thinking, we've done the Mourinho, we've done the Van Gaal, we've done Moyes, Giggs as well. You know, is it now to actually stability with some structure?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is, guys? Because I was reading it, and I was thinking, I even tweeted that. I was like, a whole 9 million of the Queen's Great British pounds. Like, a whole 9 million. Like, someone has sat in a room and said, yeah, let's give him 9
million. And
I'm like, you already said you don't even coach the team. Like, what is it? Are you doing the Starbucks run? What's the run outside? Like, what's going on?
Tesco manager job, bro.
Do you know what I'm saying? And like, listen. Obviously, I'm kind of like, we know obviously he's a man manager. I think it's obvious of how he's dealt with situations. I think everyone was just shocked that it's like the timing of it. We drew to AC Milan, you know, so maybe they thought because the tensions and the feeling, the morale was low, this was a little boost. Do you know, I think I have to question the timing of it because God forbid we get beat tomorrow. You know, I mean, how is he earning this? But he already came out and said he's going to get this, you know. Okay, he's going to get the contract now, Spice. Okay, he's going to get the contract now. Where do we go from there then? What is the vision and the picture? Because it came out today saying that Ed Woodward, what's it called? Ed Woodward won't be really dealing with as much on the players signing saying stuff, which is, I punched my hand in the air. I was like, okay, maybe something is starting to happen. The wheel is starting to turn. Spice, what are you thinking, man? Do you think like Ollie is going to actually be at the wheel and he's going to actually help shape the next 20, 30 years of Man United?
I truly do think that is the case. Ed Woodward likes Ollie. Ollie's a person that right now wouldn't really challenge Ed at all because he's happy to be here. We all know that he's happy to be here. I see Ollie now. Hopefully, the club will start to invest and do things properly and finally back the manager. Because now there is a structure, institution. The monarchy is here now, and we're happy about that. We're just not happy about who's in charge. Yeah. Yeah. I just think that next season, because Ollie at the end of the day, whether you think he's done good job or bad job, overall, I think he's done a decent job at Manchester United.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Where we are from last season to where we are today, it's an improvement, massive improvement, Although there was things that I don't like, that's just my personal opinion. But I think that the club will definitely back him this summer.
They've got to go, right?
Yeah, they've got the people in there. And what's the great thing about it, that this director of football and technical director, they've come at the time where they have time to breathe and look at the transfer window. Imagine if they hire these people in a transfer window. That would make no sense, and you'll probably think what's going on.
Which is true. Is true. And the way you're saying, if they've got time now to assess targets, I just don't want them to give him this contract and not back him, because they gave Mourinho the contract, then they didn't back him. So
and sacked him.
Yeah, exactly. So I want us to be like, the board to be like, we've learned from our mistakes. Yes, he's going to get a contract. Let's back him. And when I say back him, get the first A player, not the third or the fourth, the main one, And then, as Reddy says, thank you for watching, man. As Reddy says, then we can judge him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Rachel, what do you think?
No, I agree with that. Like, you guys know my views. Like, I'm not Ollie's biggest fan, but I think it's unfair to judge a manager who has basically half the team, because we don't have a right side. We don't have a centre-back partnership. We don't have players that play in the pivot that are good enough. But we only have Paul Pogba. The other players are trash, as far as I'm concerned. We don't have a striker. So that's half of his team. And even the goalkeeper situation is a bit up in the air, to be fair, because David De Gea has made a lot of mistakes. Dean Henderson looks better, but we don't really know how good he's going to be yet. So
De Gea just became a dad,
Yeah, like there's so many different issues.
Yeah.
So many different issues within our team. I don't think it's fair to judge any manager when they have half a team. I didn't even judge Mourinho or Louis van Gaal that badly, because
I didn't.
Yeah, because the thing is, they had players that just weren't acceptable at Manchester United. They shouldn't have been in the club. So I don't think it's fair to judge any manager if they don't have the players they need to fulfill whatever it is they need to fulfill. Like, as much as I didn't like Jose Mourinho's style of football, he got Fred and he didn't want Fred. Like, that's unacceptable. He got Lee Grant. Why did he get Lee Grant? Why did we sign Lee Grant?
To this day, we don't know,
Was that not, because Lee Grant's English, isn't it?
It didn't make no sense.
That is the homegrown.
We have homegrown players.
Manchester United don't have a homegrown issue. This is not Chelsea. This is not Manchester City, where they need to sign an English player. Manchester United have never had homegrown issues. Remember?
I don't know why we signed Lee Grant, because that was a bit. I was happy for him. Don't get me wrong. Imagine him waking up.
We got Lee Grant, Dalot, and Fred in one transfer window.
Yeah.
One player doesn't add anything, which is Lee Grant. The other player Mourinho didn't want, and Dalot was a right back that's no longer here. So what was the point of those signings? Mourinho wanted a centre back. We didn't get a centre back until a year later, which meant that we delayed our rebuild anyway. If we'd got Maguire in that summer, then we'd be able to not get Maguire in the summer after and get another player. So the whole thing didn't make any sense. It just destroyed everything. It's like the summer just gone. We didn't get Jadon Sancho. So now if we go and get Jadon Sancho this season, then the transfer budget we spent on him as opposed to spending on him the season before. So again,
Yeah.
we're delayed again.
But we're hoping
stupid.
the fact that Fletcher and Myrtle are now in place, that these guys, you know what I mean, they're getting their heads down and just getting on with some work, because they need to start putting in. We all know transfers transfers take months.
Yes, they do.
It takes months. It's for people that think, oh, you can just go and sign person. It's not that easy. People don't know that you have to deal with solicitors, financial people.
No. With Manchester United, they only deal with solicitors and lawyers. That's what we've heard from Patrice Evra. This time, I'm happy that we've got the guys in charge. I'm hoping that they will send them to the players, because can you imagine being a player and you're being approached by Manchester United and you're just being talked to by lawyers about money? You're going to be like, what the hell is this? Like, what about the career? What am I going to be in 2 years' time?
Yeah.
Those two football players, those two ex-players that used to kick ball, that know a lot about ball, the new hierarchy, I hope they will be the one that will go to meet the players with Ollie. No Ed Woodward, no Matt George, just them two. And then when they approach the player, it's about football. And I believe that will make players believe and make players sign for us,
Yeah, 100%. Because they can relate and it's intimate. You've got Darren Fletcher, who is a great example of what you put in is what you get out. This guy's won every trophy at Manchester United. And we forget he played the big games and he scored in some of these big games.
Trust me.
So for me, it makes me happy. And like Stu says, the board has finally recognized the structure is needed to take the next step, which is cool, which is 100%. And this is what I'm saying. Like, when it did happen, I understood the personnel people weren't happy with. But for me, I was like, okay, you are recognizing to move forward, we need to work in a certain way. And talking about, this guy, shout out to Reddy. Thanks for watching. Please, guys, make sure you smash a like. Donny was never going to work in this system, given all he likes to highlight the number 10, like Pogba during his internship and Bruno. Donny is completely different. He can't play in a pivot without a DM. That's a great segue. Spice, I'm going to come to you first. Hashtag free Donny.
Free Donny.
Hashtag Donny, where are you? What is going on with this guy? What is
Where's
happening?
Donny? Where is Donny, bro? It's just what. But I'm not gonna lie to you, and Avocado, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's sad. It is really sad, the fact that we have a player that just wants to leave us, And the question is whether Ollie wanted to sign him or not. That is the question. But as we are concerned, from Donny van der Beek, when he first signed, he spoke to Ollie. Ollie spoke to him and said, yeah, X, Y, and Z. And then he came. So Ollie did want him. Whether it was his first choice or not his first choice, he spoke to the guy. He said, you know what? Cool. Come true. Yeah. And play for me,
he did say that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. The way Ollie has treated Donny van der Beek, I find it disgusting, because it's a very good player. We have a class player, especially the fact that when you see McFred in midfield and you're thinking, Van der Beek, who's been there, done that, played in the Champions League, played semi-finals, played for his international team, beat Real Madrid, scored against Real Madrid in the semi-finals, And one thing I need to say to that comment earlier on, Donny van der Beek can play holding. Don't forget where he's come from, Ajax. 6, 8, 10, even 7, 11. He does those positions.
Yeah.
And the fact that Donny wants to leave now, I don't blame him.
Do you think he wants to leave? Or do you think it's just...
It could be frustration. He could be frustrated that he wants to have talks to say that I want to leave, but I really don't want to leave. You've been in those positions where you want to quit your job, but you don't really want to quit your job because you have bills to pay. It's the same situation. You just want to test the waters and see what Ed Wood would say, because Ed Wood doesn't know nothing about football.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, yeah, you should be playing to Donny. So, again, the way Ollie has treated him, it's not the best. Yeah, I don't like it. I never liked it.
So Rach, right? Sorry, Avocado. What do you think's going on with Donny? Do you think it's just a season to settle in, see how Man United play? Because I'm going to be devil's advocate here. Is it because Donny came from a certain way of playing and stuff, now we're coming to a different system? Is he getting a year's grace where he's just needing to adapt, adjust? Because Premier League's played at a different pace than the Dutch league, but continental-wise on Europe, Donny does his thing. We saw him, what he done at Real Madrid, what he done at Spurs. So what is it at Man United?
think it's a combination of things. I don't think Donny plays as a 10 for us at the moment because a lot of the runs he makes when he's in the 10 are not picked up by our players. It's as I said before, some of our players are just not intelligent. So when he makes those runs that are very different to Bruno's, especially in the box, our players don't see him, they don't use him. I've seen him a few times actually when he's made very, very good runs and no one's used him. It's really annoying. But there's also the fact that he doesn't impose himself on the game the way Bruno does. So Bruno, whenever he gets into a good area, he demands the ball. He's shouting at them, give me the ball, give me the ball. Donny doesn't do that.
He's a bit shy.
Yeah, maybe he's a bit passive at times as well. So if you don't demand the ball and shout at the players when you're getting into those spaces, it can be very difficult for players to actually pass the ball into him because some players just don't see the ball, don't see the pass. And as for him playing FIFA as well, sorry.
Are you saying that Donny's like the new guy in the office? So, comes in, sit at his desk, pour his coffee, drink his water.
Say hello to everyone while no one says hello back.
There is a little bit of that, but there's also the fact that when he plays in a deeper position, there's still a few issues. As I said before, you play a 4-2-3-1. You want someone who's a long passer as well as good at short passing. Donny van der Beek doesn't fit that criteria either. So you want someone alongside him who can play a long pass, who can play those kind of balls. Again, the only person that can do that is Paul Pogba, and you can't play Paul Pogba and Donny in a pivot because it's too offensive, and you leave our backline exposed. So there's a combination of issues. We need to get a DM. If we get a DM, then that DM can play with Paul Pogba, can play with Donny. And you can have a combination of things that you can do. So, basically our midfield is trash. Said it before.
Okay, so you're saying the midfield is trash, right? So, Rachel, staying with you. How do we integrate him in?
What do you mean integrate him in?
So, as in, how do we make Donny work? Do we go and buy an Ndidi or a Basuma?
I'd rather we got a Declan Rice type, but you need to buy someone that can hold the midfield and allow Donny to get forward without being punished, because Donny van der Beek is a very intelligent football player. He plays a lot of short passes. He progresses the ball very nicely, and he runs into very good spaces. So he has the ability to do that and progress the ball up the pitch for attacking scenarios. But when he does that, we don't have players that will cover him. So we need to get him into the team or get him used to the Premier League, of course. But we also need to buy a player that is actually useful in those areas as well to play alongside him, in my opinion. I just don't think McFred or Matic are even remotely good enough, if I'm being honest with you.
For me, I think when we bought him, my honest opinion was, how are we going to play now? Because I was thinking, are we going to look to retain possession now, or are we going to start to try and play more football? And when I say more football, I was thinking, okay, we're going to start from the back. We're going to, do passes that break the lines and stuff. At Spicy, I'm thinking, hold Donny van der Beek on this price. Wow, this is a steal. Like, I couldn't believe it. And I thought, okay, cool. We saw what he done in the Champions League. I wasn't naive to think Champions League, Premier League, because it's completely different pace. Obviously, Champions League, those games are more technical. What I was so sad about, and is what Stu's saying here, if we bought someone to play with him, or had someone to play with him, because it's like he can play in the two, but he doesn't have to be as deep. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah.
But we need someone who's able to fulfill the DM role, where Donny knows that there's someone there that's gonna, like an Ndidi or a Declan Rice, that's gonna be able to sweep up. I mean, who would be the ideal for you? Would it be Declan Rice to come in?
I like the looks of Declan Rice, and I also like the looks of Ndidi. Yeah. But out of those two, I would go for Ndidi. But at the same time, if I wanted the holding midfield that can actually play, Declan Rice is the right person that will actually fit Manchester United. Just the fact that he's also English as well, it helps as well. Since Maguire wants someone in the back four that speaks English, like. But yeah.
I think it's annoying though, isn't it? Because if you think about it, I think Declan Rice would be cheaper to get.
He's a baller. You don't agree. You don't agree.
So like you say Ndidi, right? And I just think
Ndidi will just sweep up, but would
the
ball's going forward now?
ball playing. We need more than just someone that's just gonna sweep up. Like Ndidi's fantastic. Like, let me not lie to you, he's great at what he does. I just think Man United, we need someone who can do more than just that, you know? And I think Declan Rice has had a great season, great advert for his services. He can actually carry the ball. You know, he can sweep up. He can do what Ndidi does. He can tackle. And I just think he'll complement a lot of the current midfielders we have. Because I think Declan Rice would not be overwhelmed, but would be thinking, I'm playing with Pogba, Van de Beek, Bruno. Okay, cool. I don't really have to do too tough with the. Do you know what I mean? Do too much with the ball. People in the comments, what do you think? Do you think? I mean, Rachel's back now, so Rachel, we're just saying that, like, oh my God, Chelsea scored. Goodness sake. Rachel, we're just saying that, like, Declan Rice and Ndidi, you know, would be the best bet for Donny van de Beek. I'm saying Declan Rice, just because I think it would be easier to get him with the Lingard if we threw Lingard as a carrot. What about you?
Who I would prefer, or who I think is easier to get?
Both.
Yeah, I think Declan Rice is easier to get for sure, but I'd actually still prefer Declan Rice over Ndidi if both of them are on equal footing in terms of whether we can get them. I think Declan Rice is a very intelligent young football player, very good passer of the ball, very disciplined, knows how to defend as well. Because he used to play as a centre back. I think we said
he does play in that position as well, centre back, centre defense, and centre midfield. Don't get it twisted. He plays 3 positions.
Yeah, and he's a line breaker, so he breaks lines very, very well actually, and he's actually improved on it because I've been watching him quite a lot the last couple of months. I think he's a very, very good football player, and he's only 22 years old, so he's still going to get better.
Which is scary, right?
Yeah, he's an excellent football player.
The way he's playing right now, before Declan Rice, this season, everyone was looking at Greenwood, Foden, who's doing a Maz, Jadon Sancho, Haaland, all the players at Chelsea, and Declan Rice is going about his business very, very well, very neat and tidy, and he's only 22. And I think to myself, get this guy now, and he could be the midfielder for us for the next 10 years, easily. Do you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Saint in the building. Shout out to everyone. Please smash a like, guys.
Make sure you subscribe.
Yes, make sure you subscribe, especially if you're new, guys. I mean, we've got to talk about tomorrow's game.
Sort of my dream right there, you know.
Not very optimistic, are you?
Yeah, we're going to talk about tomorrow's game. You know, I done a little preview with STB Sports, and one of the guys was saying that we're going to get beat 2-0, and he was saying that I think Pogba on the right hand side would be a good option. Rach, going to come to you first. How are you feeling about this game?
I'm not as scared as other people are, actually. I don't know who's back for AC Milan, but I think the fact that we've got Paul Pogba coming back, Donny van de Beek. I heard Cavani got injured today. I know Indiana was devastated about that. I think the only issue we have is who we play at 9. I think we'll probably go with Greenwood up front, won't we? So it'll be Greenwood, Rashford, and maybe Daniel James. But for me, the midfield, having Pogba back will be really important for us. But yeah, do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't start when we play him at Fred, to be honest. But I would rather we had a bit of creativity on the pitch.
Do you think if he's, you know, when they say, you know, when managers say that line, oh, he's only fit enough to be on the bench, and then they bring him on to that 20-minute cameo or something, like, you know, why not just play him and get, like, even if it's 45 minutes or 60 minutes, why not just play him? I don't understand that, because surely an 80% Pogba would be a better option than McFred, right?
I think it depends on how. I think maybe it's because when you start a player, when he has to force Pogba to come off the pitch because Pogba's too tired, it could cost us in that moment where he gets too tired. If you have 20 minutes left and you're saying to Pogba, okay, you can't come on for 20 minutes and try and change the game, I think he almost knows that 20 minutes is guaranteed. Maybe that's the only thing I can really think of, because if he's fit to start, then he's fit to start for me. That's all it is. Like, I think he should start, but then we don't know how sharp he is, if he's match sharp. So he's been out for what, 6 weeks? Paul Pogba? It's been a while.
Has it been that long?
I think so. I think
It's been a few weeks. Been a few weeks, yeah.
So just throw him into a game that we have to win and maybe waste a substitution, because if we start him and he gets injured again or he pulls something, I think that's a risk that you don't want to take. Whereas bringing him on in the last 20 minutes or so is a lot less risky. So maybe that's the reason
when you come back, isn't it, Rich? Because people don't know that when you come back, sometimes people can only run in straight lines. People look at me like, "What do you mean?" Like, I remember when I used to play football and I was coming back from an ankle injury, and you'd be like, "All right, he's only going to run in straight lines." As in, you run for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 yards. Then you walk back. You can't do any twisting and turning because you have to build it all up. So it'll be interesting to see where he is. Spice, Paul Pogba, does he play? And for you, how are you feeling about this game, man? Because we bottled it 1-1. Sorry, we never. Dean Henderson did. But actually, no, it's a team game. It's a team game. It's a team game. Like, Man United drew, there was warning signs because they did score a few goals and it got disallowed. How are you feeling about this game?
I am not optimistic, because, of course, AC Milan came to us at home, at Old Trafford, and bust us. So if they can do that there, I know there's no crowd and that doesn't play an effect, but if they can do that to us in the first leg, can you imagine what they could do in their own ground where they're more comfortable at, where they eat their dinner and all that, and etc. So I'm just not confident at all. I feel like we might be going out tomorrow. Like, I hope not. I really hope not. But I just know that tomorrow's not looking good. And I hope we can score some goals because we struggled to score against West Ham. In terms of Pogba, ideally he shouldn't start because he's not fit. And I hate when Oli does this, He does this with Marcus Rashford, he does this with Bruno, he does it with Lindelof. 1 minute they're injured and he throws them in, and it even aggravates their injury even more and even worse. So I just want to make sure that when he brings in Paul Pogba, it's because he's ready and he's fit. Yeah. So I'm expecting Paul Pogba to come on, not to start. I hate that if he's fit. It's just the same thing as saying, like, if you see someone at work and you say, if you've got time to talk, then you've got time to work. Just because my man's on the bench, you can start. Yeah, I get it. But with Pogba, I hope he just comes on. He shouldn't start.
I think if you're, I say smart, I think any competent manager doesn't start him because it's a bit too much, to just come in like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. We don't know what level he's on, but if we're going by what we've seen and reading,
we know.
He's generally, and he recovers quite fast. I remember that. So everyone's body's different. I just think the nature of the game to start him might be just a bit too much right now, too soon for him. I want to talk about a player, guys. Kessie,
my guy.
He was very good.
Mon frère.
This guy single-handedly had a great game. Okay, he didn't play too well at the weekend for them, but I mean, what was your analysis of him? Because I felt that he bullied us when he was playing deep, and then when he went forward a little bit, he was brilliant, and he scored a great goal. Don't know VAR. We caught life with that. I don't know how, but are you worried about him tomorrow, Rach? You worried about him?
Yeah, no, I think. Well, he got a lot of joy against us last week, so it does worry me for tomorrow. He destroyed our midfield. It looked like McFred weren't doing McFred things because he just bypassed them every time the ball came into him. He pretended they weren't even there. And these are players that are known to close down quickly and try and get the ball back. And he didn't even care that they existed. Exactly. So he caused a lot of issues for us. He's a very good box-to-box player. I really like him. But again, it's a game-by-game thing. You said yourself he didn't play that well on the weekend. I didn't watch it, so I can't really judge it. So if he's on form and we play McFred, then we're going to be in trouble. Yeah, I do believe that. But we just have to see how it goes. Hopefully our team actually turns up a little bit and actually tries to be a bit better on the ball. Because that goal we conceded against AC Milan infuriated me. Because not only was it poor defensively and obviously from Dean Henderson's point of view. But what really annoyed me was our inability to actually keep the ball. Now, I know we're not a possession-based team or anything like that, but basic passing, like that pass that Fred tried to do was unreal, what he tried to do there. And we've had this before. David De Gea got a lot of stick for doing this against Everton. Do you remember? And then he fouled, I think it was Luca Dini or whoever it was, or Richarlison, whoever it was. David De Gea got a lot of stick for doing that. And rightly so, because he shouldn't have like rushed to try and get the ball out like that.
Yeah.
Fred did the exact same thing. Tried to play a ball that he can't make because he hasn't got the capability of doing it. We lose possession and they come back at us straight away. It's unacceptable. We need to keep the ball better. Players need to use their heads more. I'm so sick of people making excuses for these players. Honestly, I'm so tired of it. Just keep the ball. It's common sense. If you can't do that at Manchester United, then you shouldn't be here. Just leave the club. Honestly, I'm tired of it.
Spice. I mean, Rachel says she's tired of it. You know, a player like Kessie to be able to bully what we've got. Midfield was looking like Polo FC, holes in it. You know what I'm saying? Everyone was all flat-footed like pancakes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what's your thoughts on Kessie, man? Because do you know what? Like, the guy looked really good, and on the ball, he looked even better. You know.
First of all, I just want to say the guy that commented earlier on, hey, he's not no B-Tech party. Frank Kessie, you don't think I never saw that? And then it's been about 2 minutes. It's still in my head. I saw that. I never let that go. I saw that. Frank Kessie, first of all, I know who he is because of course he plays for my national team, and I've known about Frank Kessie from the moment he came out. From the moment he was in Italy and he went to Milan. I followed him. So I'm not surprised with what he done to Manchester United. He's a very, very good playmaker, you know, a deep lining playmaker especially as well. And offensively, he's very intelligent as well. So I know who Kessie is. I know who Frank Kessie is, and I've been watching him for years. So I'm not even surprised. He's a player that ideally I think as well would do well at Manchester United. You know, Manchester United should look at him because he's a very good player, very good midfielder. We have been linked with him in a couple of years ago.
And they were saying
yes. So I'm not surprised of the way he played against Manchester United, and he was a big, big problem. And just imagine with him and Zlatan playing and Tonali starting, you know, and what's it called, Benavatore and what's it called, Rebic playing with him. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be peak. Tomorrow will be peak. And I know that Zlatan will look at the Sweden guy, his friend Lindelof, and say, it's going to be me versus you, because I know that Maguire will be on the opposite side, not marking the big man. I know that. I know that. But with Kessie, that's my boy, man. I can't say anything more than him.
I think you know, see Kessie, do you know, when I look at him, I think, when I watched him, I thought, wow, this AC Milan are missing so many players when this guy's still carrying them. He's carrying them, and he was playing really well. And I thought to myself, what's going to happen when they all come back? When he has help, you know, when he has other players playing their positions. So I personally think he's going to be a problem. Literally, we've got to segue into our team. Fortunately, What do you think he's gonna do? Is he gonna play the 4-2-3-1? Rachel, what do you think? Is it gonna be 4-3-3? Is it gonna be the same personnel? I mean, can we all agree that we know what the team's gonna be?
Yeah, I think we can. It's simple.
Yeah,
we can agree.
I'd say so.
Hendo in goals. Yeah. Right back, Wan-Bissaka.
You know, Magdalov, sure.
Do you think Baye has a shout? No.
I watched the press conference. No, guys, I need to let you know that I've watched the press conference this morning, and apparently Baye is not fit, and he might not be in that team tomorrow.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. So, and even if he was fit, I knew that I just had a feeling that he'll play Magdalov at the back.
He's not in the squad. That's what we've been told now. Thanks, Stuart. Wow. Sad. Okay. Wow. Well.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary, isn't it? Now you know what you could be facing.
I mean, look, you know, Lindelof might take to it. You know, playing against Zlatan. You know, could be his hero.
Been pretty good the last few games, to be fair. Both centre backs have been decent.
Yeah, he's been playing well. He's been playing well, but we're still
what worries me
conceding.
is they'll tend to back whenever they play against someone that is strong and physical that likes to be in your face. That's when I'm more nervous. That's when I'm more
They dealt with
nervous.
Antonio well, though. They dealt with
And
Antonio
Giroud.
well.
Like
And Giroud,
the thing about Zlatan, you need to remember, is that he is a slug, just like Giroud. So, so when you have, I don't know who they're going to play on the left side, but they might play what's his name, Rebic, or whatever his name is. I remember Saka will deal with him. 100% he'll deal with him. If 1v1, he'll deal with him. If you've got Zlatan, it means that we could actually push our line a bit higher, like we did against Chelsea.
True.
So
Because he's not going to run.
Exactly. And we know that Bruno and our front three will try and press. We know how well Bruno presses. So if unless AC Milan come out with a low block, which I really, really doubt they will, I think they'll come out, trying to play their own game. I think we'll be fine, honestly, because the thing is, if we are able to push quite high up the pitch and play a fairly high line, this is where McTominay and Fred are actually quite useful because they win the ball back high up, and our shape is quite compact. So as soon as they win the ball, they'll be able to pass it short to someone who's actually useful on the ball and try and create chances. If they're on their game, of course. If they're not on their game, then just forget about it. But we'll be. I think.
No, you're right. You're right because thing is that if we do play high up the park. It does suit most of our players except for our two centre backs because the pace wise, and we saw against West Ham, Scott McTominay getting back, winning the ball back, and then starting to play again. Fred as well. So
City game was very good for that as well.
Yeah, exactly. We always seem to have joy against teams like City. So regarding, we're going to say Shaw left back, right?
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Are we going with McFred? Is that who we're thinking?
Yeah, I think he will go with McFred.
Yeah, same, because I think who's available. It's all we got, right? You know, Bruno's obviously playing. I believe I read Martial's not in the squad.
Yeah, wow. I read that as well.
Wow. Yeah, Martial's
still injured.
It's going to be Greenwood as the 9, I think.
And
Greenwood
of course,
as the 9, and then Daniel James. So, guys, I mean,
we're playing with 10 men. You know that, right? We're literally playing with 10 men.
That's
what,
not
with Daniel James?
Do
you know what people are not noticing with Daniel James?
He works hard.
No, it's not even that he works. His movement is very, very good. The problem is when he gets on the ball, sometimes he doesn't do enough. But he actually holds the whip. He's the only one of our players that holds the whip and actually stretches the play. Now, I know people don't like him on the ball. I don't like him on the ball, but the fact that he stretches the play actually gives Bruno more space to operate in as well. So there is a usefulness to him, believe me. I know he's not great on the ball and he could do a lot better, but creating space, like I said, is movement, and creating space is the most important thing in football. If you don't create it, you can't pass into anything useful.
That's a move, isn't it?
Exactly.
I actually I'll be honest with you when it comes to Dan James. I have my moments with him, but I think Dan James can be a very good player if he's guided right, like you said, with the ball, on the ball, the decisions that he makes on the ball, problem. But he's a dangerous player. That pace, his position is good, and he's the only one that's a natural winger in our team. He's the only natural winger. Oh yeah, and Diallo, there is
Diallo, which I hope we might get a cameo from. I just think that's the team. For me, Daniel James. I sometimes think to myself, I know you are fast. I know you put your head down, you can dribble. Not 100%. Excuse me, but I think to myself, okay, let's do what you're good at. But I'd love for him to run at some of these fullbacks. And when I say run at them, I don't mean just try and dribble. I mean take them on.
Take them on, yeah.
Even if it's the usual kick the ball past them, it's effective.
The Aaron Lennon special.
You made the career out.
I'll never forget that.
Right?
Oh gosh. But he was effective as well, Aaron Lennon. Even though most of the time he was not that great, he did have his moments where he could get in behind the fullback, get past them, and try and put a ball into the box.
Exactly.
Most of the ball was crap, but at least he did it.
Exactly. So I mean, I hope for his sake, because I'd love for him to, from now to the end of the season, go and get 6-7 goals and just be and then work on that and look at all the other people. How can you work on your game? How can you affect the game and stuff? So for me, I hope he does do well, guys. I mean, look, guys, we've got about 5-6 minutes left. Yeah. What's the score prediction, Spice? What are you saying?
Even though I'm not confident, I'm hoping for a draw, or high score draw, which will allow us to go through. So 2-2.
2-2. Who's scoring for us?
Oh God, that is the question right there. You know, who is scoring for us when we struggle to score? Oh well, I'm gonna go with my guy Bruno and Rashford.
Bruno, Rashford.
They only score. They're the only two that score.
True. People in the comments, what's your predictions for tomorrow and who's scoring? Rachel, what about you?
2-0, Man United.
2-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a good feeling about tomorrow.
United are going to do a Mazza in the San Siro. That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
No, do you know what I think? Do you know what I think is going to happen? I think we're going to score an early goal, play like shit, and then get a penalty in the last few minutes.
And then Bruno scores that pen, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. So it will look convincing, but really it wasn't.
Listen, that would be a typical Manchester United performance, and you know we have no shame because we'd celebrate that anyway. Like, I have no shame. I was celebrating the West Ham game. I was like, clean sheet, what are you telling me? Do you know what I mean? I think we're going to win 3-1. I think we will concede.
Spicy.
Yeah, I think we will concede. I think we will score early. It'll be like a Rashford cut-in, bang. And then it sets up the game. They've got to come out regardless, even though they had to. And then we'll concede some stupid set piece. Fred will probably... Yeah, seriously. And then out of nowhere, we'll have a mad 15-minute spell where we get 2 goals. And then we just hold on. Typical Man United defending, like literally, because I think we need to have a 2-goal cushion to be safe. Well, for me to feel safe. Anyway, that's what I think.
Yeah,
well, we need to get a goal as well.
We have to score first. If we don't score first, Lord of mercy, it could really be peak because we need to step out then, you know. So the game plan for me, I think, is AC Milan have got their goal, but they'll want to score, so they'll need to come out on us, you know. And you can imagine they're at home. They'll want to put on a show for their fans that are home. God willing, they do that. They'll be naive, and then we go out and do it. And like, listen, I don't even care who scores personally. I'll say James, Bruno, Rashford. For me, actually, do you know, I'd love to see Greenwood get a double. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, he's 2 goals.
He's played actually quite well. I thought he played well against West Ham.
I did too.
Very, very good.
Yeah, he was unlucky. He was unfortunate. I liked how he dropped. He was dropping to get the ball and stuff. There was a part of me sometimes I was like, just stay in the box when the cross was coming. But he's going to learn that. Do you know what I mean? It's going to come with his games and stuff.
Yeah, but he's getting a lot better at dribbling towards the byline and getting balls into the box.
Yeah,
his crossing's improved a lot as well. I was very impressed with some of the things that he was doing in the last few games, just because we don't see that enough from our team. Usually, on the left side, we usually see Rashford use the overlap from Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw's the one crossing the ball from those areas. But Greenwood's actually getting into those areas now, and he's putting balls into the box. Very good ones as well. The cross to Rashford was very, very good. One that 100%. Rashford scored. Yeah.
And to think we were a club that was built on wingers that used to just cross. Beckham and Giggs, 24/7. See a yard and cross the ball. Imagine.
Whipping excursions and everything. Whip. All that. Trap house movements. Whipping them. Be like.
Guys, I want to finish off on something very positive right now. Spice checked me and he was saying that, like, you know, we're linked to I can't pronounce his name.
Let me just get it out. Just give me 1 second.
A few players recently, and obviously,
any central midfielders.
No, this is a defender that we was linked with. Nikola Milankovic.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been linked.
Does anyone know anything of him?
No, I don't actually.
All people say he's a good player from what they've seen on YouTube, I reckon. That's what I reckon.
Compilations, yeah.
Compilations.
Yeah. Anyone can look good on YouTube. I saw a Fred tribute video the other day, and Fred looked very, very good in it. And I was just like, yeah, these YouTube videos suck.
I'm not gonna lie. You watch Manchester United's matches this season, you'll think Manchester United can play ball by highlights. You get me?
Guys, last question. Are we signing Haaland, yes or no?
No.
It's funny how everyone wants a player that's managed by Mino Raiola, but you want Pogba out. I don't get it. So it's a no for me, fam.
I
No.
would love Haaland at United, but I don't think we're getting him.
But I don't get it.
Is like praying every day on his knees by his bed.
Yeah, every Manchester United fans are saying sign him. But I swear you're the same people that said, "Oh, Mino Raiola's a dickhead."
Oh,
but you want his client.
I think he's an excellent agent.
But
I hate him as a fan. But
listen, let me tell you something. People need to understand that, yeah. As an agent, your job is to get the best for your client.
For your client,
Mino Raiola is a top agent. I will have him any day of the week. Top agent.
How you can maneuver a transfer, yeah, for Pogba to go back to Man United, and you get paid 41 million, bro. You can sit on my table.
Trust me.
I'm with my pen and pad. And like teach me, because do you know what? Like obviously he's controversial. Listen, agents have power now. That's football. You know, they're controversial. We have a thing called social media where anyone can say whatever they want on their platform.
If you're Kate Hopkins, you can be racist and still not get deleted.
Exactly. And for me, yeah, it's like it when you break it down, yes, it's annoying and distracting. But if you cut it all about, you think to yourself, actually, he's literally just working for Pogba. Pogba gets a new contract, job done.
Look after his client.
Do you know what I mean? And then he earns his piece. So yeah, I think, yeah, I'm 60%. I think I'm 60% because
again with transfers, none of that.
Yeah, I'm 60%. Because Dortmund will need to sell, as all these other clubs will need to make money somehow, and we are just that naive, gullible club that will be like, yeah, there's 100 million, and I really think they'll do that. I really do think they'll do that. I think it's wrong that
even with the new structure in place with the DOF, do you think they're still going to be making those kind of mistakes?
I think, yeah, if they can, okay, let's say 80 then. If they can, if there's a sniff or a scent of a chance that they can get it, listen, it's like white on rice. Those people are going to be on it. Seriously, Haaland, can you imagine the brand? Like, do you know what Man United
I can also imagine McFred playing in the same team as Haaland and it being an absolute nightmare.
Thank you, Avocado. Thank you.
I was
waiting for you.
Oh, could you imagine, if Haaland's making a run in behind, right, or making a great run in between the centre backs, McFred see it and don't do anything about it. I literally saw Fred do the same thing, right? Rashford against West Ham. It was like in the first 15 minutes of the game. Rashford makes a run in behind. Fred has the ball, watches him run, turns around and passes it sideways.
I saw that. I saw that.
I mean, you know what? I'm not going to go too hard into it. You know, we just move on. I don't think we're going to get Haaland. And if we do, we're not going to get a central midfielder, and I'm going to cry anyway.
Yo, Bobs, do you really want Haaland when we have problems everywhere?
No, do you know what, right? I think it's just the old school. Do you know what, Spice? We're the same age.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's
oldies.
Old school.
I'm young, you know. You don't see this face. Right. I'll be 25, but you know, I'm not that age. Get me.
But I'm not like. I think, I always think that when Man United get linked with a player, I'm thinking, he'll come to us. You don't say no to Man United. Do you know what I mean? Like, regardless, like we normally back in Fergie's day, if we were linked with a player, we normally signed them. To be fair, you know, give Fergie his due. Okay, Fergie,
Schneider,
David Joe,
Gaetan, we definitely signed those players, isn't it?
Ronaldinho.
Pep Guardiola.
I just wanted to throw that in there.
Fergie wanted Pep Guardiola as well, didn't he? We didn't get him.
There's
a lot of players we didn't get under Fergie, trust me. I remember at Schneider we were linked with for 5 years. Gaetan, do you remember Gaetan? What happened to him?
Nicholas Gaetan, yeah.
Yeah,
and Fika. Ended up in Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I agree with that, Stu. I don't think we'll see him next season. I don't think we'll see that next season. I think squad players at best next season.
But only if you get a central midfielder.
Yeah. If he gets two. No, he doesn't need two. I'm saying if he gets Declan Rice.
I would love it if he got two. Oh my gosh.
Listen, everyone in the cut, thank you so much That's over an hour. This is That United podcast. I am your host, your co-host, Bits and Bobs. Rachel, Spice, thank you so much for tonight. Guys, please make sure you smash a like. If you're new, subscribe. Spice, tell them where they can find you, man.
Of course, you can find me on my channel, Red United TV. Do subscribe as well and watch me as well if you want to catch some bants as well. You know, always posting up funny videos of my reactions and also my weekly podcast. Also, follow the Red United TV account, which is on Instagram, which is Red United TV1. Simple as. You get me? And also, I want to say one thing. Shout out to Rachel for shining in the dark, because I'm still standing here mesmerized thinking, how can I see her and it's just pitch black behind? Shout out to Rachel.
I just glow, you see.
You get me?
Go on. Rach, where can the guys find you as well?
I'm on the first 11, and obviously my Twitter handle is the Devil's Avocado, as you can see on the screen. Tomorrow we're doing a tactical analysis on Manchester United. So if you don't think we have patterns of play, I'm about to prove you all wrong, basically. So
lock in.
Hopefully you join us
lock
there.
in. Thank you very much, Stu. Thank you for everyone. Everyone, thank you. Peace and love to all. Take care. Have a good weekend.